For the last 20 years, you may have been fighting the wrong enemy. You thought the enemy was the corporate ladder, the younger guy trying to take your job, the demanding boss, the broken economy, maybe even your ex. But the real enemy? He's been sitting quietly inside your head the entire time. Your ego. Welcome to Prime Over 40. Today, we're exposing the one thing that silently drains a man's power, his peace, and sometimes even his relationships. When a man is in his 20s and 30s, his ego is loud. It wants attention. It wants status. It wants the world to see that he has arrived. So he buys the car he can't quite afford. He works endless hours to prove himself. He pushes, competes, and tries to win every room he walks into. But when a man crosses into his 40s, something interesting happens. The ego doesn't disappear. It evolves. It becomes quieter, but far more dangerous. Imagine this. You're sitting in a meeting. You've been in the industry for 20 years. You've earned your experience. Then a younger colleague, maybe 28, maybe 30, interrupts you and says, "I think there's a better way to do this." Suddenly your chest tightens. Your mind isn't asking, "Is he right?" Your mind is asking, "Who does this kid think he is?" That is ego. The ancient strategist Sun Tzu once wrote, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." But what happens when the enemy disguises itself as your identity? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus warned about this centuries ago. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. That's exactly what ego does to a man in his prime. It makes him rigid. And what is rigid eventually breaks. Here's the truth most men over 40 don't realize. If your self-worth depends on respect from others, you have already given them power over you. Every time you react to disrespect, every time you feel the need to prove yourself, every time a small insult ruins your day, you're handing someone else the remote control to your emotional state. That isn't strength. That's dependency. So how does a smart man defeat his ego? Not with aggression, not by fighting harder. He defeats it with control. Real power is the ability to stay calm when others lose theirs. To hear an insult, smile quietly, and walk away. It takes enormous strength to let a fool believe he won an argument. But the moment you stop needing to win, you become untouchable. Office politics lose their grip on you. Petty conflicts no longer drain your energy, and the desperate need to look important slowly fades away. In its place comes something far more powerful: calm, clarity, and control. Your family doesn't need a man with a massive ego and a fragile temper. They need a man who is steady, a man who cannot be shaken by small people and small problems, a man who has conquered the hardest enemy of all, himself. A true warlord doesn't need to shout to command a room. His presence does the work. And the second half of your life isn't about collecting more titles. It's about letting go of the ego that has been weighing you down for decades. Because on the other side of that ego is the man you were always meant to become. If you're ready to stop wasting energy on battles that don't matter and start building real, quiet power, subscribe to Prime Over 40 and master the next chapter of your life.